Hey everyone, welcome back. So today we're tackling one of the most common mistakes investors make in the crypto space, and this is relying solely on the top 10 cryptocurrencies to deliver life-changing gains. But the reality is, if you're looking for 100x, which are very hard to come by, or even 10x returns, these top coins may not be your best bet. So stick around and we're going to dive into why this is the case and what strategies you can explore instead to get you ahead of everybody else. So let's get started. When you look at the top 10 cryptocurrencies, they are two things. They are stable, yes, but they also have limited growth potential. So if we talk about the top 10, you have the usual suspects. You have Bitcoin, you have Ethereum, you have Binance. I'm going to leave out USDT, but we have Solana, even XRP, and these are widely considered the safest and most notable stable investments in the crypto space. In other words, these are the type of tokens that you can sleep well at night knowing that they are not going to be gone tomorrow. So the main problem with that is that their sheer size means that their potential for explosive growth is limited. Now, take Bitcoin, for example. It basically has a market cap of over 1 trillion at its peak, really. And it's over 1 trillion now. So for it to 10x, you'd be looking at a market cap of 10 trillion, which is more than the GDP of most countries. That's likely not going to happen, at least anytime soon. So the same is true for Ethereum and a lot of the other top coins. So these coins are basically largely behind us. Now, am I saying these shouldn't really take a place in your portfolio in some shape or form? No. But what I'm saying is, if you're solely relying on them to change your life this cycle, I guarantee it's not going to happen. And why is that? So for that, we need to understand diminishing returns, especially in large caps. So the core issue, once a crypto reaches a certain size, the ability it has to multiply, in value, it just decreases dramatically. And this is called the law of diminishing returns. So let's look at Bitcoin, for example, right? To go from, let's look at all time. So to go from $100 to $1,000, it took less money for it to do that. So when we finally got to 1,000, I think it was around here. Yeah. So it took less money than what it would take it to move from 50,000, let's say, and then move it to 100,000, or even from 50,000 to 500,000. So the larger the market cap of a coin, the harder it's going to be for it to be pushed by the same, percentage, if that makes sense. So let's take a look at Ethereum and Binance, BNB. So while they will continue to see growth, basically through adoption of smart contracts and DeFi, their days of explosive gains are behind us. All right. Or I should say behind them. So if you're holding on to these tokens with the expectation of 10x, 50x, or even 100x returns, this is your reality check right here. So open your eyes. Now let's take some real life examples. You can look at the top 10 cryptos versus small cap explosive growth. Okay. So to illustrate my point, if you had invested $1,000 in Bitcoin back in 2012, you'd be a millionaire today. But if you invested the same amount in Bitcoin in 2021 at the peak of 69K, but right now you'd probably be down about 30 to 40%. And even if Bitcoin goes back to its all-time high, you would only double your money. So always keep that in mind. So if you look at something, for example, like Shiba Inu, right? So Shiba Inu actually delivered millions of percents of gains within a single year of its launch. So let's see if we can find it. Here it is. So we can look at Shiba Inu. Now look at that. So this is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. It doesn't take as much money to move. Let's look at another example. I think one of my favorite examples were, what was I looking at? Yeah, let's look at MEXC Infinity. That's always a good example. So take a look at MEXC Infinity. Look at that. Boom. So it basically went from 15 cents back in 2021 to $150 by the end of the year. So that's basically 1,000x return, which is unheard of nowadays. And these are the kinds of gains that basically will change your life forever. Well, hopefully forever. So why the top 10 coins are actually safer but are not going to make you rich. So why are investors still so drawn to the top 10 cryptos? In essence, they're safer bets. So these coins are well established. They're heavily backed by institutions. I mean, Bitcoin has an ETF, Ethereum has an ETF, and we're going down the line. There's a lot of speculation that XRP is going to get an ETF. So they basically have proven use cases. Bitcoin is pretty much digital gold. Ethereum is the foundation for DeFi and NFTs. So they're not going to go anywhere. But as I said before, their growth is not going to be explosive either. So I always think of the top 10 like blue chip stocks in the traditional markets. They're solid, they're reliable, but they are unlikely to make you rich overnight. If you're aiming for financial security, they're great. But if you're looking for, life-changing wealth, it's the smaller, riskier projects that offer the potential for those gains. And where to find life-changing gains? Small cap coins and basically emerging projects. So if you're really looking for life-changing gains, you need to be looking at the small cap altcoins. So coins with low market caps and high growth potential. And these projects are still in the early stages. And even though they're riskier, yes, they're also where you can find the next 10x, 20x, 25, 50, or even 100x opportunity. So how do you find them? Well, as I've said in previous videos, you need to look for projects that have strong fundamentals, innovative use cases, and an active development team. Whether it's in DeFi, Layer 2 solutions, NFTs, or gaming, there are plenty of areas where new projects are emerging with massive potential. So let me give you an example. So here's a token that I believe is going to do phenomenally well. It's Gaming Arena. We're going down the line. Right? Look at the market cap is 18 million market cap. I honestly believe this will be a $1 token by the end of the bull run. And guess what? It has a lot of room to grow. It has an active team, and they are constantly working. So honestly, this is just one example, but it's one of my favorites. So let's keep going. So with that being said, the risk for small caps, basically investing in, how do you manage that? Because obviously you have to go down the line from the top 10s, right? You need to basically look under the top 100. So it's always important to remember that with the potential for high rewards always comes high risk. High risk, high reward. Small cap coins are much more volatile. And many projects they just don't succeed. So how do you manage the risk while maximizing your chances of finding the next great project? So one strategy, guess what? Diversification. I bet you never heard that before. Spread your investments across a number of promising projects rather than putting it all your eggs in one basket. So in essence, never go all in on one coin. Another is to basically always do your own research. Look into the projects. Look into their roadmaps, the teams, the community, before you make any type of investment. So, and lastly, as always, just don't invest money you can't afford to lose. So these coins can make you rich, but they can also go to zero. Finally, I'll just go to another one of my examples. I recently made a video on dogs. I believe this will be anywhere from a 50x to 100x potential. And I know it looks grim right now, but what they've done, the amount of holders right now, the millions of holders that they have, I honestly believe this is going to catch on fire. And in a good way, not in a bad way. But then again, they can also go to zero. I'm prepared to do that. But in essence, why wouldn't you grab, let's say, $1,000 worth of this coin? Or why wouldn't you grab $1,000 worth of Bull? One of my favorite meme coins. This one's on TRX. I believe this will actually 10x. I mean, look at this. It's absolutely insane. But then again, not to make this long, so to sum it up, while the top 10 cryptos are solid and stable investments, they're unlikely to generate the life-changing gains that many people are looking for. So if you are after those kind of returns, you're going to need to dive deeper, and you're going to have to look at small caps. You're going to have to look at emerging projects. And yes, it's riskier, but with the right strategy, research, and patience, the rewards can be enormous. Trust me. If I've done it, you can do it too. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you got some value out of this video. And if you enjoy it, just wait for the next video. You guys take care.